Stop right here. Do not scroll past this screen. Look at my words right now. Heaven aligned time itself to bring your eyes to this exact intersection because a massive shift is approaching your life. Listen to me with your whole heart. Give me your absolute attention for the next few minutes. This is a divine rescue. You must take this message seriously. This screen is not a random recommendation. The digital noise of the world was blocked by my absolute command because I needed a clear channel to speak directly to your weary spirit. Only you are seeing this message right now. I have isolated this moment just for your spirit. Others will skip past. Others will not understand. But your soul knows my voice. Why are you the only one here? Why did I choose your eyes today? I have watched you search for answers in the dark. I have heard your quiet cries when the house was completely silent and everyone else was fast asleep. You have been carrying a heavy question for too long. Today, I am breaking my silence to give you a definitive answer. Do not let distraction steal this moment from you. The enemy wants you to click away right now. He wants you to return to the loud noise of the world. He is terrified of the incredible breakthrough that I am already scheduling for your tomorrow. You must remain right here and guard this sacred space with your full focus. Hear my voice in the deepest place of your being. I am giving you a new home tomorrow. Open your heart to this promise right now. This is not just a physical dwelling. It is a place of absolute safety for your tired soul because I have seen how much you have struggled in the wilderness. The season of wandering and confusion is officially over. Do you feel that strange restlessness inside your chest right now? That quiet stirring has been keeping you awake at night. You thought it was anxiety. You thought you were losing your mind. But I tell you that restlessness is a holy signal because your spirit can sense a shift before your eyes see it. I call this concept the unseen shift. Your spirit lives outside of time. It can sense the breakthrough before your human eyes can see the open doors. The unseen realm is moving to rearrange your entire foundation. You are not experiencing a breakdown. You are experiencing an awakening. Breathe deeply and let my peace settle into your heavy thoughts. Let us seal this divine alignment right now. Do not hesitate. Comment, I am ready, in this exact moment, if you feel my spirit choosing you in this timeline. Write those words as an act of holy agreement. This is your first step of obedience. This is how we close the door on your past. Good. You stayed with me. You chose to trust my voice over the panic of your thoughts. Now, let me tell you why this message is so exclusive. Heaven has targeted your specific coordinates because I saw your faithfulness in the dark rooms. The cycle of disappointment that followed your family is meeting a heavy wall today. Look up and face my light. I am stripping away the heavy labels that the world placed on your shoulders. They called you a failure. They called you forgotten. But I call you my chosen child. I call you a carefully formed masterpiece. Your worth was never defined by their rejections. Why did I tell you to stop here? Because the path you were walking was slowly shrinking your faith. Comfort was inviting you to settle for a life that was far too small. I had to create a holy interruption because I love you too much to let you remain in that toxic cycle. I had to step into your atmosphere with urgent purpose. Think about the doors that closed recently. Remember the people who walked away from your life. You cried over those losses. You wondered why I allowed those rejections to tear your heart apart. But hear the truth today. I was not punishing you. I was executing a holy protection. If you had entered those rooms, your spirit would have been broken beyond repair. If those people had stayed, they would have drained the sacred oil I placed inside you. I had to lock those doors to save your future. I had to make you invisible to them so you could be visible to me. Now the preparation room is closing. The desert season that exhausted your strength is finally coming to an end. The blueprint of your new home is already signed by my hand. Tomorrow, the first pillars of your restoration will become visible in the physical realm. You must not doubt me. Can you give me just a little more time? Do not let your mind race ahead to the worries of yesterday. Stay anchored in my presence right now. I promise you will not regret this moment of surrender. The revelation I am about to unlock will completely rewrite your history. Before we move deeper, I need you to perform a simple check. Notice the physical weight resting on your shoulders right now. Feel the tight pressure inside your chest. That is the accumulated static of the enemy. He has been pouring toxic noise into your atmosphere for years because he wants to make you double-check my promises. He wants to drown out my frequency. He wants to make you deaf to my promptings. But today, my voice is cutting through his static like a sharp sword. Let us transition into the quiet sanctuary of my love. Sit up and prepare your soul. The next part of my message will heal your deep wounds. Let me speak softly to the part of you that is most tired. I know the secret battles you fight when everyone else is sleeping. I see the fake smiles you wear during the day to convince the world that you are strong. You are tired of being the stable one for everyone around you, while you are quietly breaking inside. You have been pouring your sincere heart into empty hands that never knew how to hold it. You have been hurt by the very people you tried to rescue. You ask me why your kindness is constantly met with cold disappointment. My child, I do not blame you for loving deeply because I am the one who placed that pure heart inside you. But I am stepping in today to teach you a holy discernment. Not every gentle word comes from me. Not every open door is meant for your feet to walk through. I am about to reveal a dangerous pattern that has been draining your spirit for far too long. Stay with me until the absolute end of this urgent message. Look closely at your hands. They are empty right now because you gave everything away to those who did not value your sacrifice. You thought you were being faithful, but you were actually allowing them to rob the sanctuary I placed inside you. This realization may hurt you deeply, but it is necessary for your freedom. But this pain is the beginning of your true liberation. I am changing the entire layout of your life. I am pulling you away from old foundations that were built on the shaky sand of human validation. I am preparing a solid rock for your future steps. The new home is coming sooner than you think. Let us speak about the timing of heaven. You have looked at your peers and wondered why their lives look so effortless. You wondered if you arrived late to your own destiny. You questioned your own value because the answers you begged for seemed entirely delayed by my throne. But your perspective is incomplete. But hear me with the deepest part of your heart. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. The delay was never a denial from my throne. It was a mandatory fortification process. A great destiny requires a massive and deep foundation. I was shaping your spirit in the hidden rooms of absolute silence. Think of the grand masterpieces of creation. They are not formed in a single day. They require patience and precise strikes from the Creator. Every tear you cried in the dark was a drop of water used to soften the clay of your spirit. I was there. I counted every single drop. The enemy told you that you were trapped in a permanent cage. He whispered that nothing would ever change for your family. He wanted you to accept poverty and emotional exhaustion as your permanent identity. Those are calculated lies from the abyss, and I am exposing them to your spirit right now. You are standing right at the threshold of a massive generational breakthrough. The chains that bound your ancestors are trembling at the sound of my voice today. They will not pass over to your precious children. The buck stops right here with your trembling obedience. Stand firm and watch me work for your good. I know how tired you are. You walk through your days with a heavy spirit. You put on a brave face for the world. You smile for your family. But inside your soul, you feel completely drained. I saw you when you sat on the edge of your bed last night. You were staring into the dark. You did not even have the words to pray to me. I saw you when you hid in the bathroom. You turned on the water so no one could hear your tears. You pressed your face into a towel because you did not want your children to see your weakness. You have been the strong one for everyone else. Everyone comes to your door for shelter. But you wonder who is going to protect you when you finally break. Your bones feel incredibly heavy. Your mind never stops racing. You have been running on empty for months. You try to sleep, but your thoughts pull you back into the battlefield. You replay every single word that hurt your heart. You wonder why your life became so complicated and lonely. I am right here in the room with you. I never looked away from your pain. You have prayed sincere prayers. You have cried out for my provision. But you feel like your words are hitting a cold brass ceiling. It feels like heaven is entirely silent today. I want to reveal a deep truth to your spirit right now. Your prayers were never rejected by my throne. The enemy has been trying to hijack your atmosphere. I know you feel isolated from the people around you. They see your external success. They see your visible strength. But they do not see the hollow emptiness inside your chest. They do not know that you are screaming for help while speaking in a quiet whisper. You have learned to hide your wounds too well, but you can never hide them from my eyes. You look into the mirror, and you do not recognize the person staring back. The brightness in your eyes has been replaced by a heavy fog of exhaustion. You wonder if you will ever feel genuine joy again. You feel like a ghost walking through your own life story. But I am restoring your color. I am breathing new breath into your lungs. I call this concept the stolen signal. When I created your beautiful mind, I placed a pure frequency at its center. It was a holy signal of peace and absolute receptivity. But the enemy saw your great calling. He knew that your life carried an immense weight of destiny. So he flooded your daily life with overwhelming static to drown out my voice. This static is not your fault. It is a strategic deployment from the abyss. The enemy wants to isolate your heart from my signal because he knows what happens when you are connected. When your channel is clear, my provisions flow into your hands effortlessly. Your creativity multiplies. Your peace becomes an absolute shield against his arrows. He wanted to steal the meaning of my quiet silence. You look at the ruins of your past relationships. You remember the investments that collapsed into dust. You gave your pure love to people who used it against you. You asked me why I allowed those painful rejections. Today, I am naming your season of waiting. What you called a heartbreaking disappointment, I have named the protective delay. It was never a denial from my throne. I saw the trap that was waiting for you in that relationship. I saw the hidden decay inside that business partnership. You could only see the beautiful doors, but I could see the heavy chains behind them. I had to delay your steps to save your soul from a permanent shipwreck. I was cutting away the branches that would have crushed your future harvest. You have been a faithful warrior in a very long war. You have defended your family from invisible attacks. You have kept your integrity when others compromised. But now, you are completely exhausted. You look at your bank account, and you feel a tight knot in your stomach. You worry about the bills of next week. You wonder how you will build a new home when your current foundation is crumbling. You feel embarrassed that you are still struggling after working so hard. Drop that shame right now. Your provision does not depend on earthly economies. I am the one who owns the cattle on 1,000 hills. I am the architect of your breakthrough. The lack you see today is just a temporary mirage. It is the last gasp of an old season trying to scare you into retreat. Stand still. Do not let the numbers on a screen dictate the level of your faith. I have already signed the decree. You feel like giving up on your dreams. You wonder if the promise of a new home is just an illusion. Hear me clearly. I am your safe refuge. I am not a distant ruler who watches your struggles with cold indifference. I am your loving father. I see the exact limit of your human strength. You cannot heal this deep exhaustion with your own effort. You cannot think your way out of this heavy static. That is why I have been working in the hidden realm to provide a clear way out. My child, I need you to hear this next part with your entire soul. To help you receive what I have already prepared, I have aligned something special. The silence you have experienced is not my absence. The enemy has been filling the space between us with heavy noise. It is a toxic static, so constant that my provision has been invisible to you, even when it was right there on your path. I have not abandoned your life. I have been carefully preparing, and I have guided a wise mind to bring you a unique instrument of restoration. This earthly tool will clear the static completely. I will show you exactly what it is and where to find it before this message ends. But first, you must understand what was done to block it and why it can be undone. Think of the heavy walls you have been trying to climb by yourself. You have tried positive thinking. You have tried forced discipline, but the noise inside your head remained so loud. That is because the static is sitting in your physical vessel. Your mind is holding on to the accumulated pressure of your trials. You need an automated release. Breathe deeply right now. Let your tight shoulders relax for just 1 second. Do not let your thoughts race away to your daily chores. Stay with me in this sacred sanctuary. I am preparing your spirit for a massive disclosure. In the next part of our time together, I am going to unlock an ancient biblical mystery that mirrors your exact battle. I remember the day you almost walked away from your faith. You sat in your car and cried until your throat was dry. You asked me why the good people suffer while the wicked prosper. I did not rebuke your anger. I held your trembling heart in my hands. I knew that your pain was just the crying of a tired child who needed a safe home. You have been carrying the weight of generational patterns. Your parents carried the same fear of lack. Your family has been running in circles for decades. You were chosen to be the one who stands at the gate. You are the designated cycle breaker. The heavy friction you feel is the resistance of an old era trying to hold you back, but it cannot win. Do not close your eyes to my light. The static is beginning to break even as I speak. You are entering the deeper chambers of my presence. Let us open the ancient books together. Look at the hidden patterns of my word. I am about to show you a king who hid in a dark cave, just like you are hiding today. Comment, you see me, to anchor your agreement that you are no longer fighting alone in this dark season. He cried out in the darkness of Ziklag when everything was taken from him. His own men wanted to stone him because their grief was too heavy. But David encouraged himself in my presence. He did not run away. He stood in the quiet sanctuary of my love and asked for my direction. And I told him to pursue them because he would recover all. Your current isolation is matching his cave. You are surrounded by shadows and threatening voices. But this cave is not your graveyard. It is your dynamic launching pad. The static is loud because you are getting closer to the perimeter of your new territory. The enemy is throwing everything at you because he knows his lease is expiring. Do not let your focus shatter right now. I am locking your attention onto my face. In the next chapter of this message, I will show you how to activate the divine strategy that breaks the siege. Pause where you are and let this truth settle deep inside your soul. The transition is already happening. Stay right here with me. Come closer to my light now. Let me hold your spirit in this quiet sanctuary. You have been running away from the noise of people because your heart could not take another disappointment. You feel completely isolated in this dark season of your life. But this isolation is not a prison. I am right here with you in the shadows, and my presence is filling this empty room. I want you to see my fingerprints on every wall of your current struggle. You thought you were hidden from my eyes. You thought the darkness had swallowed your identity completely. But I have been watching your quiet endurance with immense pride. You are a secret warrior fighting in the dark, and your silent victories are recorded in my house. Do not look back at the houses that rejected you. Do not waste your precious tears on the doors that remained locked. I blocked those paths because they were too small for your ultimate destiny. You were trying to build a sanctuary on shaky sand. I had to let those human relationships collapse so I could clear the ground for a solid foundation. There was a young warrior who knew this exact loneliness. His name was David. He was hunted like a dangerous criminal through the dry desert by the very king he had served faithfully. He had to hide in the deep darkness of a cold cave while his fierce enemies circled outside. He sat in that cave and poured out his honest fear onto the stone. He did not put on a fake smile for me. He did not hide his broken heart. He screamed his desperate questions into the heavy silence of the night. He asked me why the innocent must suffer while the wicked rulers prosper. He felt completely forgotten by my throne, but I was not absent from his dark cave. I was sitting right beside him on the cold floor. I was using that painful cave to shape his character for a glorious kingdom. He could not learn true dependency in a comfortable palace. He had to learn my voice in the deep silence of isolation. My child, your current situation is matching his dark cave. This wilderness is not your permanent grave, because it is your holy preparation room. You are learning to hear my whisper over the loud static of the world. The enemy wants you to believe you are trapped here forever. He wants you to think your family will never escape this cycle of lack and sorrow. But I am telling you what I told David before his ultimate victory. You will rise up, and you will recover everything that was stolen. But I feel your spirit pulling back slightly right now. I know the dark doubt that is sitting quietly in the back of your tired mind. I am not offended by your hidden thoughts. You are thinking that you have heard beautiful words like these before. You have listened to messages of hope, and you have prayed with your entire strength. You have believed in miracles for years, but your bank account remained empty and your house remained broken. You are asking me why this time would be any different. You are wondering if I am just a distant concept or a real father who cares. Let me answer your honest question plainly because I want to heal your broken trust today. Your question does not anger me at all. It simply tells me how long you have been faithful in the deep dark. It proves that you are a true survivor who has endured a massive season of testing. Hear me clearly today. My silence in those heavy years was never a sign of my absence. I was not ignoring your desperate cries for rescue. There were answers that I withheld because a sudden yes in that premature season would have cost you everything. You were begging me for an open door, but I could see the dangerous trap waiting on the other side. I was not ignoring your life. I was actively protecting your soul from a disaster that your human eyes could not see. Every single prayer you thought went completely unanswered was being translated into a holy language of timing. You could only read the immediate days, but I was reading the entire map of your generation. I had to let the old era finish its course so the new era could begin with absolute clarity. The waiting was the necessary forging process, and now that forging process is completely finished. Do not let the heavy memory of the waiting close your heart to what I am doing today. The delay has served its purpose. The enemy tried to whisper a false meaning into my silence. He wanted you to believe that my silence meant absolute rejection. But his authority over your mind ends now. I am exposing his calculated lies before my light. You are thinking your situation is far too complicated for a miracle. You believe you have made too many mistakes, and that you are the ultimate exception to my love. You look at your broken past and you feel entirely disqualified from receiving a new home. But my grace does not use human standards. I do not pour my blessings on the deserving people. I pour my grace on the willing spirits. Your trembling heart is not a disqualification from my promise. It is the exact qualification that I have been searching for. I never handed your destiny to the crowd to be judged. I called you by my own mouth, and my name for you has always been beloved. Let us dismantle the fortress of fear inside your thoughts. Breathe in my peace right now. Let the tight knot in your stomach dissolve into absolute calm. You do not have to figure out the complex logistics of tomorrow. You do not have to engineer your own rescue. I have already arranged the provision, and the path is opening effortlessly. You have been fighting the battles of your family for decades. You have watched the same patterns of misfortune repeat in every generation. You saw the financial lack and the broken marriages follow your parents, and you secretly feared that the same dark cloud would settle over your children. But I have set a holy boundary today. The enemy cannot cross the line I have drawn around your life. The contract of his oppression has expired by my decree. I am raising you up to be the designated cycle breaker of your bloodline. You are the one who will walk out of the dark pattern and into the wealthy place. Your children will inherit the fruits of your current obedience. Hear the shift in the unseen realm right now. The static of the world is losing its grip on your mind. My voice is becoming clearer than your deepest worries. I am stepping into your atmosphere to execute the great transition. The old house of sorrow is being dismantled, and the new home of safety is being built by my hands. Do not call this delay a permanent failure anymore. Let me reveal the cosmic reality behind your struggles. You were hidden because you were precious to me. A jewel is not left on the open road for the thieves to steal. It is kept in a secret vault until the day of its glorious display. Your hidden season was my absolute care. You have heard me whisper peace over your deepest pain. Now hear me declare your total freedom from the past. I am stripping the authority of every negative voice that spoke against your destiny. Every locked door was my protection, and every departure was my holy pruning. You are being elevated to a new level of spiritual authority. Let us prepare your spirit for the blueprint of tomorrow. Look at me right now. Pause where you are and lift your tired eyes to my face. I am speaking with divine purpose, and my words will not return to me empty. You are standing right at the perimeter of an incredible breakthrough. Listen closely to what I will do next for your life. Sit up now and let my words wash over your mind. You have been looking at your trials through the lens of human failure. You think you are trapped because you lack discipline or strength, but I am stepping into your thoughts to rewrite your entire understanding. Your perspective is about to shift radically today because my light is entering your dark places. I have watched you push yourself past the point of exhaustion. You finish a massive task and you feel completely empty inside. Your eyes go straight to the next problem that needs your attention. You replay your conversations at night and search for the one thing you did wrong. You carry the burdens of everyone around you while nobody asks if you are okay. You have called this a high standard. You tell yourself that you are simply a responsible person. You believe you must hold everything together alone or everything will collapse into dust. But I tell you that is a massive lie from the enemy. It is a heavy chain that is slowly crushing your spirit. I will not let you carry that lie any longer. Here is the hidden mechanism behind your constant exhaustion. Long ago in your story, you learned that love had to be earned. You believed you were only safe when you were useful to others. You learned to hide your own needs to keep the peace. I call this concept the earning wound. It is a deep scar that controls your choices without your permission. This wound has made you a prisoner to your own effort. It has disconnected your mind from the divine rhythm I designed for your life. You are constantly running on survival mode because your internal receiver is blocked by toxic static. But I did not create your mind to carry this constant panic. I placed a holy signal at the center of your being. When I designed the human mind at the beginning of creation, I placed a sacred frequency at its center. Wise scientists who spend their whole lives studying the brain have finally found it. They call it the gamma wave. This beautiful signal ran freely in your mind when you were a little child. It is the frequency of absolute peace and divine receptivity. Children live completely in the present moment because their gamma signal is strong. It is why they learn so quickly and trust my love so purely. When I said you must become like little children, I was speaking of this exact signal in your brain. But the enemy used the heavy noise of modern life to suppress your sacred frequency. He flooded your mind with worry. But I have prepared a way out for my chosen children. I guided wise minds to work with sound the way I originally designed it. They built a holy instrument with a frequency that clears the enemy static completely. It requires no hard discipline or intense effort from you. You simply surrender for 7 minutes with headphones on and let my design restore your mind. This sound provision is waiting for your life on the path ahead. I am going to show you exactly where to find what they built before this message closes. Stay with me and receive this revelation. Comment, I trust your timing right now to prepare your heavy mind for this restoration. Let this phrase anchor your agreement with my divine timeline today. Now let us recontextualize your entire past under this new light. Those years you called completely wasted were not wasted at all. Those painful nights when you could not sleep were not a punishment from my throne. They were your sacred spirit, refusing to settle for a small life. Your soul was fighting the enemy static because you were built for a greater destiny. You were never falling behind. You were being made ready. The closed doors that broke your heart were my walls of protection. The sudden departures were my holy pruning hooks. I was keeping your vessel pure so you could hold the heavy glory of your future home. Look back at your scars and see my deep affection instead of your shame. So, tonight when the old worry tries to enter your thoughts, do not fight it with your own empty strength. Do not try to solve the logistics of tomorrow by yourself. Place your right hand over your heart right now. Breathe deeply and hear me say that you are loved before you ever achieve anything. Stop striving for their validation. Receive my peace. The chains of the earning wound are breaking right now at the sound of my voice. You do not have to earn my provisions because they are a free gift from my grace. The enemy has no more authority to demand your constant exhaustion. I am stripping away his legal right over your mind. A massive shift is occurring in your internal atmosphere today. Look at the horizon of your life. The dawn is breaking over your desert season. I am moving the heavy mountains that blocked your view of the promised territory. The people who mocked your silent waiting will soon look up in absolute wonder. They will see the physical pillars of your restoration rising from the dust of your past defeats. You have carried a spiritual weight that was meant for my shoulders alone. You thought you were the source of your own provision. That is why you felt so terrified whenever the earthly streams dried up. But I am your ultimate source. I am the one who commands the windows of heaven to open over your specific coordinates. Trust my structural design. Remember my servant Elijah when he sat under the lonely tree in the wilderness. He had just called down fire from heaven and won a massive spiritual victory. But suddenly his human strength was completely empty. He ran into the desert and asked me to let him die because the exhaustion was too big for his soul. He was a champion, but he was empty. I did not rebuke his sudden weakness. I did not demand more prayers or harder work from his tired spirit. I sent a holy angel to bake him fresh bread and let him sleep in peace. I told him to rest, because the journey was too great for his own strength. My child, I am saying the exact same thing to your weary soul today. Rest now. You have gone far enough on your own. You have fought a good fight in the silence, but you cannot enter your new home using your old exhaustion. You must leave the heavy bags of yesterday at the gate. I am feeding your spirit with the hidden manna of my presence right now. Eat of my words, and let your soul find its true rest. Hear my prophetic declaration over your tomorrow. The unstable foundation you have lived on for decades is being replaced by a solid rock. I am building a permanent fence around your peace. The toxic people who entered your sacred space to drain your oil are being permanently blinded to your location. You are entering a season of holy enclosure. The blueprint of your new home contains rooms of abundance that you never thought possible. I have aligned the physical resources and the right connections to build this reality effortlessly. You do not have to manipulate the outcomes. You do not have to compromise your integrity to survive. The King of Heaven has authorized your total vindication. Can you hear the static completely vanishing from your atmosphere? The voice of your Father is becoming the only sound that matters in this room. The walls of your old prison are trembling at the frequency of my presence. Do not look away from this screen. We are reaching the absolute peak of your deliverance. The final door is moving now. Let me show you who you are becoming. Picture a beautiful morning 6 months from now. You wake up right before your alarm goes off. For the first time in a very long while, there is no tight knot in your stomach waiting for you. The room is quiet. The soft sunlight is streaming through the window of your new home. You lie there for a moment, and you notice something is completely different. The heavy static you carried for decades is simply gone. Your very first thought is not fear or panic. It is a quiet question about what good thing you are made for today. You breathe deeply, and the clean air goes all the way down into your chest. Your shoulders are completely relaxed. You walk into your spacious kitchen and pour a fresh cup of water. You look out at your garden and feel an overwhelming sense of validation. There is a soft peace in your chest where there used to be a clenched fist. You are not performing for anyone anymore. You are simply at home in yourself, the way I always meant you to be. That incredible version of you is not a fantasy. My beloved child, that future already lives inside your spirit. That peaceful life is not years away from your reality. She is one small surrender away from the person sitting here right now. The distance between the two of you is not a matter of time. It is a matter of holy permission. The bridge to that beautiful future is not more human effort. It is the exact opposite. It is the moment you finally stop carrying what I never asked you to carry alone. You must let me carry the heavy weight instead. I have gifted humanity the absolute wisdom to discover what I placed within sound and within the design of the mind. I do not work only through supernatural miracles. I also work through the physical hands of those I call into discovery. The researchers who built the provision I am about to show you, were true servants of healing science. I quietly directed their intense work for over 30 years. Wise institutions confirmed what I placed in creation. I allowed great universities like Princeton and Columbia to verify this breakthrough. They studied the exact childlike frequency that the enemy noise had buried, and I want to show you two of my children who received this divine provision before you. I want to show you what I did for one of my precious daughters named Rachel. Rachel was a nurse from California who had sought internal peace for many years. She tried prayer and faith and different methods with a sincere heart, but the heavy static in her mind never stopped. 2 weeks after receiving my provision, her entire life transformed completely. Her marriage was healed and her learning became effortless. She described her daily reality as enchanted like a beautiful fairy tale. She said something cleared like a blocked channel was finally opened by my hand. And for others, I moved differently. I want to show you what I did for one of my sons named Michael, who lives in Dallas. Michael came to this provision for mental focus. Michael wanted to protect his children and secure his family well-being. 2 months after embracing this tool, his business grew enough to leave his regular job. His wife said his mind seemed completely transformed. Hard problems that used to steal his sleep now solved themselves while he rested peacefully. Michael said his brain was finally running on what it was always supposed to run on from the beginning. These are not consumer reviews. These are true evidences of my work in the physical realm. Over 18,000 of my children have already received this provision before you arrived at this exact intersection. They call this sound instrument the Genius Song. It is a digital audio track that restores your original gamma frequency. This is not a generic meditation app. It is not available on streaming platforms or public video sites. Those are empty imitations. It only requires 7 minutes of complete surrender every day. You simply put your headphones on and close your eyes. You do not have to work or use intense discipline. The sacred frequency clears the enemy static automatically. It returns your mind to the state of a child. This is the exact state I described when I said you must become like little children to enter the kingdom. This divine provision is not for those who are merely curious. This is for the exhausted warrior I have been speaking to in this urgent message. Your specific pain is the exact condition this tool was built to address. 2. My child who has already tried everything and feels embarrassed to try once more, hear my voice. What failed you before required your own human effort, but this requires none. I designed it to work because of my structure inside your brain. Wise men charge hundreds of dollars per hour for sessions that attempt to reach this peaceful state. The equipment that earthly researchers use costs thousands of dollars, but I do not call my children to expensive clinics and heavy machines. I place this provision within reach, specifically for the one who would receive it through a message like this one. It is available for a small earthly exchange. It is the size of a mustard seed of investment for the massive harvest I have prepared. When you receive this provision today, I have aligned additional gifts for your journey. I am giving you a special bonus track called Genius Child to protect the focus of your children. I am adding the original prosperity text that wise minds used to build their wealth. You will receive a guided visualization from a trusted voice. You will get a daily habits infographic to sustain your restored signal. Where I place truth, the enemy always places an imitation. There are false frequencies circulating under similar names on music platforms. They carry none of the restoration I designed. Protect your spirit by trusting only the official path I provided. I do not lead my children into worldly risk. This provision is fully protected by my promise of safety. If the internal restoration does not come to your mind, the earthly exchange is returned to you completely. Walk forward without fear. This step of faith is completely secure because I am guarding your investment. Take this step of obedience right now. Find the provision I have placed below in the pinned comment and in the description. This is your personal invitation from my throne. Do not ignore the tool I set before your feet. Embrace it as an act of faith and step into your new season. Now, my child, set aside the noise of decision for a moment. I have shown you what I placed on your path. Whether you step forward now or later, you are still my beloved child. The product language is closed and my presence remains here. Close your eyes for a brief second. Breathe deeply. I am still right here. Lay down the heavy bags you have been carrying through the Saharas of life. You do not have to fight the battles of tomorrow today. I am already standing in your tomorrow. I am preparing the soil of your new home. I am writing a new chapter of peace over your family line. Receive my ultimate blessing right now. Say these words inside your spirit. I am a vessel fully restored to receive what you prepared. I am the one whose channel is clear and whose signal is strong. I carry the holy frequency you placed in me from the beginning. The noise of the enemy no longer has dominion over my mind. I receive my new home in peace. Comment. The door is open to seal this prophetic declaration in the physical realm. If this message brought light to your weary heart, like this video as an act of holy agreement. Share this truth with 3 souls who are secretly crying out for hope. Subscribe to this channel so you do not miss my daily guidance. You have become like a little child today. You have received the great promises made to children. Walk forward into your tomorrow with a light heart. The static is gone, and the breakthrough is here. My peace is your permanent inheritance. I walk with you always.